and welcome back to week 4 of the DFL. I hope you all enjoyed your bye week last week for the fast. And speaking of fast, I wish you all a Gemar Hatima Tova. This upcoming Shabbat is Yom Kippur. Hope you all have a easy and healthy and meaningful fast. Don't eat too much Saturday night because we got big games on Sunday. So I'm going to preview the week, but before we do that, I would like to address a few important league notes. First and foremost, there was a little bit of a confusion when it came to the stiff arming rule the last time we were on the field, and I would like to address that. Anytime a stiff arm hits the opposition, whether you're on offense or on defense, stiff arming, if it hits the guy in the face, even if the guy bends down, a stiff arming penalty will be called. Meaning to say, if you're a receiver with the ball and you stiff arm and the defender bends down and your stiff arm hits the guy in the face, even though he caused that contact, you are stiff arming, so you will get penalized for that. We're eliminating all stiff arms from the neck up. So that will be something the referees will be looking at, number one. Number two is, a few incidences happened a few weeks ago, and I would like to clarify it. There was an interception on a 2-point conversion, and the defender, as the interception happened, was about to cross the goal line, was within the 5-yard line, and a tackle was made. And the rule in the field was that because a tackle was made, he awarded the 2 points, even though he didn't cross the goal line. It was a bit of a controversial call, and the rationale and the logic was to prevent somebody from always tackling a guy, regardless, just to prevent 2 points. So the logic was there, it was sound, and that was the call on the field. Now, by no means did that impact the final score of that game, because later that game, that team actually was at the 5-yard line, and a touchdown would have won them the game, and they threw an interception. So this is not about that, even though there was a few questions if they could appeal or they could put the game under protest. So after long discussions, after long conversations with multiple people, and there is precedent for it, there will be no protest. Protest is denied. We're not reopening up that game. We're moving on. However, I'm kind of glad that this happened because it allows me to address exactly what the ruling is going forward, even though it was not clearly delineated in the rule book. If a certain instance happens where, for example, a 2-point conversion is intercepted and the guy's returning that interception, if a tackle happens within the 10-yard line, now this must be an egregious tackle. It must be decided from the referees when they get together. If it was an actual egregious tackle, the 2 points will be awarded. If it happens beyond the 10-yard line, then the team that is returning it will have a 2-point try. And if it happens at the 50, for example, or the 30, whatever, it'll push them all the way to the 10 and they'll have a 2-point try. If this happens on an interception, same thing applies. On a pick, within the 10-yard line, if an egregious tackle happens from a defender because he has nothing to lose, just tackle the guy, why would I not prevent a point from being scored? If it's within the 10, points will be counted. If it's beyond the 10, they will get the ball at the 10-yard line on a tackle. This is really very important to know. It's only on if you're wrapping a guy up, because we are cleaning up all dangerous activity. I cannot be liable just to have guys trying to skirt the rules to make a game-saving or a touchdown-saving play. There's no tackling. You go for the flag. Bottom line, that is the rule. And I know it's an unpopular rule, and I understand I'm going to get backlash for this, but you're not liable. I am, and I will do whatever I can in my power to promote safety and make sure nothing bad happens. Now, what happens is that tackling player is given a warning. Obviously, the punishment is already there because other teams getting the ball either at the 10 or points are being scored. And if there's a second offense in that game from the player that is wrapping the player up, that second offense will result in you are out for the game and suspended for the next. There's no tackling. So sorry. So that is the rules going forward, and even going backward. That is how it's going to be. That is how it was. And again, I'm happy this incident happened because it allowed me to clarify these rules. Now, to the upcoming week, we have week 4, big week. We have Ravens versus the Eagles. We have the 1-2 Ravens versus the 3-0 Eagles, or the 2-1 Eagles, and we have the Dolphins versus the Steelers in the 10 o'clock matchup. I'll go backwards a little bit. We have Cowboys versus the Niners, which is also going to be a fun matchup. probably the game of the week. And then we have the Colts versus the Texans back in the 10 o'clock slot. Now, before I get into these matchups, just wanted to give a shout out to the league leaders for a minute. We have Ellie Siegel and Shimmy Cohen leading the league in completion percentage at 71, which is pretty wild. We have Bernhack leading the league in 13 passing touchdowns, due in part to that big week he had a few weeks ago where he set the single season record. Siegel has 4 rushing touchdowns. Isaac Gindi leads the league with 21 receptions. That's a big number. Jojo Matute has 7 receiving touchdowns, proving to be Ellie Siegel's go-to target. Roden with 3 INTs, becoming that guy, the hawk for the ball. And Jake Luck is currently the sack king, and it looks like it's his sack king title to lose right now with 7. He's been a force on the line. Now, the first matchup we're going to go into real quick is the Ravens versus the Eagles. Ravens been scuffling. They are banged up. They are playing without their first rounder. We're trying to get them a guy. Hopefully we can get somebody that fits the bill. I mean, Cincinnati just is bailed, so we're trying to find them a guy. But Ravens have been scuffling. However, Eddie Casson on the mend. Hopefully he's healthy. He's been their go-to receiver along with Freddie Bijou. Shua King having a nice season. Danziger, a nice showing last time on the field. Jamoy Yao has been that good old reliable guy. And then Jack Massery also just finds himself open. So they have what it takes to win. They just got to put it all together. We saw that they can be an explosive offense. Now, the Eagles, the Eggleston Eagles, they're no joke. Shimmy Cohen proving to be a real difference maker behind center at quarterback. Michael Panitz, just, all out great player offensively, even shows signs defensively being a star. Dubin, we know what he's capable of, what he's able to do. Jake Luck, like we said, just a freak on the line. Shmoy Lewis, showing also he can be pretty reliable as a pass catcher and also on the line. Noam Katzel, Irwin Sutton, Charlie Mizrahi, just a good team. Gun to head if I had to make a choice of who wins the week. Unpopular call, but I'm going Ravens. I think they're due. I think they have a big week ahead of them, and I think they're going to capitalize. Now, on to the next matchup. We have the Niners versus the Cowboys. Game of the week, in my estimation. Mo Duick, just doing Mo Duick things. Momo Levy was quiet last week in the rain. Only 2 or 3 receptions, but look for him to have a bigger performance this week. Look to get him more involved. Shua Danny, been a really nice player thus far, both defensively and offensively. He's one of those guys that's always around the action, always, involved in something good that's going on for the Niners. Joey Alalo, looked good. CZS, I didn't get a chance to see much of his plays. From what I saw, looked pretty good as well. Joe Daba, does his thing on the line. Ben Hamu also became that defensive stud for them. It's a good squad overall. And then on the Cowboy end, the undefeated Cowboys, Ellie Siegel doing Ellie Siegel things. Michelle Novosteller, I think he should be back and healthy. Jojo Matute became that go-to receiver for Ellie Siegel, which is always important to have. And speaking of go-to, Morty Sultan having a really, really nice season in his rookie go-round. Definitely backs up the talk. There's a lot of talk, but he backs it up. Moose, the captain, just steady as it goes. Does a great job on the line. Roden, like we said before, the INT king. Jackie Sutton and Yossi Abramson. I think Abramson got traded from that team. But really good team. They've been undefeated, and I think that trend remains. I'm picking Siegel in this matchup. I'm going Cowboys, issuing the Niners a loss over here. Again, could go either way, obviously, but that's just my gut feeling. Now on to the 10 o'clock matchups. We have the Dolphins taking on the Steelers. This is a desperation game for the Steelers, and I think they're going to play that way. Elliott Saka with a chip on his shoulder. Sammy Shweki, one of the best receivers in the league. Isaac Gindi, as we saw, what he's capable of with the league leaderboard. Charles Saka, steady as it goes. Victor Cohen, captain. He's been scheming up so much over the last few weeks. Just talking to him a few minutes ago. Alan Shiram, David Amram, Nathan Batesh. They have the pieces to win. And they're going up against a team that's coming off a big win, actually, the Dolphins. Zaki Citron, David Buka Cohen, who's actually taking time off from his busy Sukkah building schedule to be there with his squad. Much appreciated. Joe Torquia, very highly sought after player. People always love when he's on their team, just, glue guy type guy. Fonz, the heart, the soul, just, whatever you want from a captain, he's there. Sami Surya, again, standout rookie, having a great year. Victor Abadi, Charlie Baton, and Gruskin. Just a good squad. Again, this is a toss-up type game because I do really believe in the hunger that the Steeler team has, hungry and desiring that win. And maybe I'll give them the edge. Again, coin toss type game to me because I think the Dolphins overall are a better squad, but I think that desire that's going to come from the Steelers squad is going to be there. If they get down early, I think they're going to just lose. If they get up early or they keep it close, I'll pick them in the win. So, gun to head, I'll go Steelers. I'll go Steelers. Again, I'm going against the grain on these calls. I completely understand. Now on to the next matchup. We already did the Ravens-Eagles. We did Cowboys-Niners, Dolphins-Steelers, and then finally we have Colts-Texans, another desperate team in the Colts. Ike Mavora doing a pretty good job at quarterback. Svi Lieber should be healthy. That's what's been holding them back, this team, is their health. Some Fuchs look really good. So Ralph Hannon's concerned because I don't know if he's going to be playing this week coming off that Achilles/ankle/calf injury. Ralph. Definitely needed on this team. Ralph Casson, been pretty reliable and steady over the middle. Joslet just does Joslet things. Harry Ashkenazi, nice player. And Kaz, pretty good squad. Every team in this league is capable of winning each week. They have a tough task going against the Houston Texans, captained by Bernhack, who came out of his shell, so to speak, a few weeks ago and continued it on, just, really showing out on offense. Yoni Panagel, we know nobody wants to win more than Yoni. Simcha Gold, Mark Milbasati, who's probably on the practice field right now by himself. Ruven Jurist, Deitch, Shemesh, and Seda. Good squad. It's in a tough game. I feel like Houston's going to win and issue another loss. It really depends on the question of Ralph Hannon and who's playing for him. I know he designated himself on IR, but he was playing for him. Gun to head, I'm going Houston. Again, I know that the Colts need a win. I'm just feeling Houston. And again, everyone's still alive. It's still early on in the season. It's getting late early. This is week 4. There's only 7 weeks in the regular season, so a lot can happen this week. Lots riding on this week. But I cannot wait. Can't wait to see you all in the field, bright and early. And also, important note, and please, 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 captains, tell your teams, the games start on time. 9 a.m. is when the first game starts. Get there at 8:30. Don't get there at 9 a.m. or 9:15. We're not waiting. I instructed the referees. We are starting on time. If a team does not have the proper amount of players, I'll give a grace period. Latest 9:15. After that, whistle is being blown, and we're starting the game. You play short, you'll play short. It is what it is. So get there on time. Can't wait to see you all. Week 4, we back. Let's go, DFL.